Now, coming to the Satipatthana Sutta, I take this Mahasatipatthana Sutta, the greater discourse on the foundations of mindfulness, which is the 22nd Sutta in the Digha Nikaya. The first part is the same. Thus have I heard, once the Lord was staying among the Kurus, there is a market town of theirs called Kamasadhamma. There the Lord addressed the monks. Lord, they replied, and the Lord said, there is monks, this one-way path for the purification of beings, for the overcoming of sorrow and distress, etc. And then after that, the Buddha talks about contemplation of the body. And how monks does a monk abide contemplating the body as a body? Here he says contemplating a body as a body, but Venerable Bhikkhu says body in the body. Here a monk, having gone to the forest or to the root of a tree or to an empty place, sits down cross-legged, holding his body erect, having established mindfulness before him. Some people like to ask, what is this having established mindfulness before him? Sometimes they translate as having established mindfulness in front of him. So people become confused. I think what he means is having first established mindfulness. Mindfully he breathes in, mindfully he breathes out. Breathing in a long breath, he knows that he breathes in a long breath. Breathing out a long breath, he knows that he breathes out a long breath. Breathing in a short breath, he knows that he breathes in a short breath. And breathing out a short breath, he knows that he breathes out a short breath. He trains himself thinking, I will breathe in conscious of the whole body, meaning the breath body. He trains himself thinking, I will breathe out conscious of the whole body. He trains himself thinking, I will breathe in calming the whole body conditioner, Kaya Sankara. This body conditioner in other suttas means the breath. Because the breath is the condition for the body to be alive. He trains himself thinking, I will breathe out calming the whole body conditioner. This as a skilled turner or his assistant in making a long turn knows that he is making a long turn, or in making a short turn knows that he is making a short turn. So too a monk in breathing in a long breath knows that he breathes in a long breath, and so forth. So I'll just stop here for a while. Here, so this person, when you are practicing Anapanasati, you are conscious of the breath body, and you are conscious of the whole breath body. This whole breath body, sometimes they say, the commentaries say, the beginning, the middle, and the end of the breath. But I think when you say the whole breath body, it means the whole breath. The whole breath. And books like the Visuddhimagga, they say when you practice Anapanasati, you must be conscious of it at one point. And they say at the tip of your nose or the top of your lips. This is not what the Buddha says. The Buddha says contemplate the whole breath. So I find there's nothing wrong if you follow the breath. If it feels natural to you, you do what is natural to you. If you feel that you're aware of the whole breath going in, down to your abdomen and coming out, you can follow. There's nothing wrong with it. Then later, if you keep following the breath, if after some time the breath may appear more obvious to you in a particular place, for example, at your nostril, or at your throat, or at your abdomen, then you can pay attention at one place later on. But in the beginning, just let it be natural, just observe the breath. And also don't put too much, don't force your mind too hard to know every step of the breath. Otherwise, because when you start meditating, your mind is not strong yet. No, it's just like carrying weights, You're carrying a dumbbell, you can't immediately carry 50 pounds. You must start with 10 pounds, 15 pounds, 20 pounds, and your muscle builds up, then you can do it. So in the same way, when we start meditating, our mind doesn't have that muscle yet. So when you try to concentrate too hard, people get what Ajahn Brahm calls samadhi headache. So you just let it be natural, and slowly over time, you get used to that concentration. Don't force it too much. Then there's another paragraph that follows. So he abides contemplating body in the body internally, contemplating body in the body externally, contemplating body in the body both internally and externally. Here internally meaning your own body, externally meaning other people's body. He abides contemplating arising, here it says arising phenomena in the body. But Venerable Bhikkhu, other monks translate that he abides contemplating the body in its arising factors. He abides contemplating body in its vanishing factors, both arising and vanishing factors. Arising factors meaning the factors that make the body arise, and vanishing factors means the conditions, the factors that make the body cease. Or else mindfulness that there is body is present to him just to the extent necessary for knowledge and awareness. And he abides independent, not clinging to anything in the world. And that, monks, is how a monk abides contemplating body in the body. So here this sutta tells you how to practice the mindfulness of the body by watching the breath. And then the 4 postures. Again, monks, a monk when walking knows that he is walking, when standing knows that he is standing, when sitting knows that he is sitting, when lying down knows that he is lying down. Again, monks, a monk when going forward or back is clearly aware of what he is doing. In looking forward or back, he is clearly aware of what he is doing, etc. This one is sampajanya, practicing sampajanya. And then reflection on the 32 parts of the body. Again, the monk reviews this very body from the soles of the feet upwards and from the scalp downwards, enclosed by the skin full of manifold impurities. In this body there are head hairs, body hair, nails, teeth, skin, flesh, sinew, bone, etc. So this is another way of contemplating the body, by contemplating the 32 parts of the body. And the 4 elements. Again, you can contemplate the body through the 4 elements. That means there are in this body the earth element, the water element, the fire element, the air element. This earth element refers to the hardness element in your body. The water element refers to the cohesion element. The fire refers to the heat in your body. And the air refers to the wind element in your body. So our body, the physical body, has these 4 characteristics that make us see it as a body. And then the different types of corpses. Again, a monk, as if he were to see a corpse thrown aside in a charnel ground, 1 or 2 or 3 days dead, bloated, discolored, festering, compares this body with that, thinking, this body is of the same nature, it will become like that, it is not exempt from that fate. So here we think of different types of corpses, and we think one day our body is going to turn into the same type of corpse. So we see impermanence. And then how does a monk abide contemplating feelings as feelings or in feelings? Here a monk feeling a pleasant feeling knows that he feels a pleasant feeling. Feeling a painful feeling knows that he feels a painful feeling, etc. So you are aware of your different feelings that arise and pass away. That is contemplating feelings. And how does a monk abide contemplating mind in the mind? Here a monk knows a lustful mind as lustful, a mind free from lust as free from lust, a hating mind as hating, a mind free from hate as free from hate, etc. So the state of your mind, you also have to be aware. And then contemplating of Dhamma. You contemplate the 5 hindrances, and then you contemplate the 5 aggregates, and then you contemplate the 6 internal and external sense bases, and the 7 factors of enlightenment. Now this Dhamma in other places, the Buddha did say that it's very important if you want to attain liberation to contemplate on the 5 aggregates. The 5 aggregates also is body and mind. And then another one quite important is the 6 bases, the 6 sense bases. And then the 4 noble truths. This in the 4 noble truths, in the Satipatthana Sutta of the Majjhima Nikaya, they only say a little bit about the 4 noble truths. Whereas the Mahasatipatthana It has a long explanation of the Four Noble Truths. What is the noble truth of suffering? Birth is suffering, aging is suffering. And what is birth, what is aging, etc. They explain. And then also they explain the dukkha, the origin of dukkha, the cessation of dukkha, and the path leading to the cessation of dukkha. So in this explanation of the path leading to the cessation of dukkha, the Noble Eightfold Path, they talk about right concentration. And right concentration here refers to the four jhanas. So even in the Mahasatipatthana Sutta, you can find that right concentration means the four jhanas. And sometimes in some suttas, they say right concentration is one-pointedness of mind. A one-pointedness of mind also refers to the four jhanas. And this can be seen from Samyutta Nikaya 48.1.10. And then the last part, the conclusion of the Mahasatipatthana Sutta, it says, whoever monks should practice these four intense states of mindfulness for just 7 years may expect one of two results, either arahantship in this very life, or if there should be some substrate left, a state of non-returner, that means anagamin. So if you practice Satipatthana for 7 years, you should expect to become an arahant or an anagamin. And then the Buddha said, let alone 7 years, whoever should practice them for just 6 years can also attain. And then it says 5 years, 4 years, 3 years, 2 years, let alone 1 year. If you practice this for 7 months, 6 months, 3 months, 1 month, half a month. And then finally the Buddha says, whoever should practice these four intense states of mindfulness for just 1 week may expect either one of two results, either arahantship in this very life, or should there be some substrate left, the state of non-return. So you see, if you practice correctly the Satipatthana, for 7 days you can expect to become an arahant. So this type of Satipatthana is not the type that a lot of people practice now. A lot of people, the type that they practice now, 70 years also cannot. So what the Buddha means is that your mindfulness is unremitting, non-stop, continual mindfulness. That's why the Buddha's time, the monks, they practice until they don't sleep. Their mindfulness is 24 hours a day. That's why when Mahamoggallana was striving very hard because he didn't sleep for a few days, in the middle of the night he was nodding already. He was trying to practice and nodding his head. Then the Buddha saw. Then the Buddha made a golden body come out of the head, went to him, and told him, Moggallana, and he got a shock. Saw the Buddha, the golden body of the Buddha, and Buddha told him, don't not more attention and practice harder. Then after that the Buddha went away. So he knew that the Buddha was watching him from far. They are not the head anymore. Practice very hard. 7 days became an arahant. That is the real Satipatthana, intense state, where they don't even sleep. That's why in the Vinaya books, an arahant is said to have sati, mindfulness, 24 hours a day. 24 hours a day. All arahants have 24 hours a day. If they don't have the four jhanas, how can they have 24 hours a day of mindfulness? The moment you fall asleep, you are no more mindful. But nowadays some monks say, you sleep mindfully. How can you sleep mindfully? Kun xian. That's the end here. You have any questions?